Hey, what's up guys? This is Mark from Set My Site, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to create 6 columns in a single row on WPBakery that convert to 3 columns in 2 rows when you get into the smaller device types. So you'll have 6 columns in a single row on a desktop machine or a large laptop, and as your device gets smaller, if you grab a tablet, you want that same kind of 6 columns to be converted to 3 columns across 2 rows as opposed to 6 in a row, or breaking them down into single column, right, which happens on mobile. So this is what this tutorial is about. Hopefully that description makes sense. So let's jump right in. I'm going to start by creating my first row, and when I've done that, I just want to pop in some sample content just so that this is going to help us really visualize as we start to build this out. And we want to make sure that we have some content that we can use to kind of see how this is all shaping out as we preview. So I'm just popping in an image and a little text, and that's going to help us, again, get a visual. Bear with me while I do that. Okay, so now I've got a little bit of content here that I'm working with, and if I preview this information, or this setup here, you can kind of see what it looks like. It's a single column. I've got my sidebar. Let's turn that off. We don't need that sidebar. That's going to mess us up. Let's try that again. So yeah, I mean, here's the single column, right? That's kind of what you'd expect it to look like. Here's our text. So let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to create 6 columns in a row, and they're going to span from left to right. And they are going to be specifically for desktop sizing and laptop sizing computers, because we do not want 6 columns in a row on a tablet machine. So in order to do that, I'm going to edit this individual column, and I'm going to dictate the sizing requirements for my desktop size here and my laptop size here. So the first thing I'll do is go to width, and I will dictate that I want it to be 1/6. Same thing here, 1/6. Boom, I've got my setup here. And so the next thing I want to do is create an additional column. We're going to make a total of 6 of these columns. So in order to add a new column, I will click on this plus button that you see. It says add column. When you hover over it, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to edit the settings on this column. We're going to edit the responsive options for desktop and for laptop, so that we are creating a 1/6 size column. As you can see here, the fraction says 1/6. That's what we're going for. Boom, there's the other column. We're going to do this 4 more times. Wish there was an easier way to do this, but unfortunately you do have to do it one by one. Going 1/6, 1/6. Last column. 1/6. Okay, great. So now I've got 6 columns across in my single row. And in order to visualize what this is going to look like, I'm going to be duplicating my content across each of these columns. Again, the reason why we're doing that is to have a nice visual indication of how this is going to end up looking. Almost done here. And last thing is this space. Once we're done with this, we're going to go ahead and preview what this looks like on our desktop layout. Here we go. So you can see I've got my 6 columns all the way across, and that's how I want it to look. We're going to size this down, and as we size down, oh, all of a sudden it gets like huge, right? That's like not what we wanted it to look like at all. But up until then, it looks pretty good. We've got our 6 columns all the way across. It's responding the way we want it to. We just need to kind of fix that breakpoint. That breakpoint seems to be off. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we update the layout to accommodate that breakpoint. So what we want to do is we want to size this down into 3 columns on our tablet view. Actually, this can be done really easily. We have everything already set up here. We already have our 6 columns. So this is actually pretty easy once you know how to do it. So on my first column, I'll click on edit, and then I will click on responsive options. And for our tablet view, you'll notice something it says default value from width attribute. Well, what it's saying is it's pointing to this master width up here and saying we're defaulting to this master width that you dictate up here. So if you don't want any responsive options and you just want to set the width on a kind of all device basis, you would just do it up here, right? But since we're kind of dictating specific widths based on device type, what it's saying is once you get into your tablet, we're going to point to whatever you've chosen up here as your kind of default. So really tablet is kind of your default width if you think about it that way, right? So what we want to do is we want to update this width option up here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, on tablet, well, what do I want my width to be on tablet? I want it to be 1/3. So I'm going to go down here and click on 1/3, and that's going to be my tablet width. So let's save that. Now, it doesn't show you that it's 1/3 here as we're editing because we have to edit in desktop mode. So you just kind of have to believe that it's back there, but we're going to go ahead and do that for each of these columns now. In responsive, we're going to go to 1/3. Responsive, 1/3. Responsive, 1/3. Responsive, 1/3. And of course, responsive, 1/3. Okay, so now let's preview this and see what it looks like. So we've just refreshed the preview. You can see that it's 6 columns across. I'm going to size this down. And as we scroll down, boom, it just perfectly responds to that size that we're looking for, which is 3 columns in 2 rows. And as we scroll down, then it gets down to our mobile. And since we're dealing here with an even number, if we wanted to, we could potentially even have this scroll down or size down to 2 columns in mobile, so that if you didn't want it to be 1 column in mobile, which is the default, we can actually update it so it's 2 columns in mobile. And we're dealing with a nice even number. That's very possible. So let's just go ahead and do that for demonstration's sake. So we'll go ahead and click on the edit option for that first column, responsive options, and we already have our desktop, laptop, and tablet views set, and it's working great. What we want to do is update our mobile view. And so that's real easy. You just go to the width for the mobile view and you say that you want it to be 1/2. So we'll say 1/2 on mobile, and same thing all the way across, as we've been doing this entire video. A little tiresome, but that's how we got to do it. Okay. Okay, let's preview that. Let's size it down. Okay, I think I messed something up here, right? This is good. This is why we test. I skipped a column. So you can see one of these columns is not producing the proper result. Looks like it's the second column. So let's go and fix that mistake. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so I got confused and I chose 1/6 as opposed to 1/2. So let's save that. We'll preview. Size it down, 3 columns, and then 2 columns on mobile. So that's it. That's that. Hopefully this has been helpful. And yeah, hopefully this has helped you out. Thanks for watching. Bye.